Hi guys, Blake here with Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on Upper Lake Taneycomo. It's Saturday the 14th of November and I'm going to do the one cast today. So today I boated up here. I'm getting ready to drift right by the tennis court. We got, I don't know, probably right at 60 degrees, a little 5-mile-an-hour breeze, and overcast skies today. We did have some showers start early this morning, and it rained pretty hard here for about 4 or 5 hours, and then it died off around noon, and we've got a little 6-hour window, and it's supposed to pick up and storm pretty heavy again later tonight, starting around 6. They're running about 57 megawatts according to the schedule, which is just a little bit over 1 unit of water. Today I'm going to be throwing my TFO Pro 2 5-weight 9-foot rod. This is a rod that we carry up in the shop, and I've got that rigged up with a size 10 light gray scud, followed by a red San Juan worm. I've noticed anytime we have overcast skies or rain come in or dingier water conditions that those red San Juan worms work really good. So I put that red San Juan worm down on the bottom. Also, when I rig up a double rig with a San Juan worm, I think it tends to work out better whenever the San Juan worm's on the bottom, because it kind of catches more current and twists around a little bit. Oh, I shouldn't have hit that. Let's see, today I've got enough leader on there and tippet to make it, 13 or 14 foot deep. I probably won't have to make it that deep today. The tippet material I'm using, we just got into the shop a couple weeks ago, and so this is the Rio Green, and it's probably my favorite tippet now. I don't know what they did exactly different with it, but whereas so their original, the red 6X was the equivalent of 3.4 pounds. The new Rio Green 6X is the equivalent of 4 pounds, and the 5X is 1 pound tensile strength better than the red, and it still has the same diameter as the original. So it's a little bit stronger, but still just as thin as the original. So pretty cool. I like it a lot, and it does seem to hold a little stronger. Okay, so I'm gonna set this right around 8 foot or so. Right now we're drifting through. As soon as you get past the tennis court and you start coming up on the golf course, this big flat kind of shallows up quite a bit. Size BB split shot. I got that about a foot above my first fly. I've got my flies set at about 12 inches apart from each other. Wind is kind of pushing me, so I'm going to hopefully use my trolling motor to keep the boat drifting how I want it. Keep me moving at the same speed as the current here. I did bring a mega worm rigged up too. Anytime we have cloudier conditions, the white colors, white mega worms, white jigs, those things seem to work pretty well too. So I've got a white mega worm rigged up on my other rod, and I have a white 16th ounce jig rigged up as well. Oh, let's see, fishing reports for today. I did not get to talk to any of the guides. I saw Brett Rader come zooming in whenever the rain really picked up heavy earlier, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him about the water or the fishing. Oh, there was a fish, and I was looking at my trolling motor. Oh, no, it wasn't a fish. It was a leaf, an official leaf on the one cast. And I'm kind of drifting about 30-40 feet away from the north bank over here and fishing the slightly deeper water on the other side of the flat. Today I got all working camera equipment on the first try, whereas yesterday it took 3 tries going back to the dock before I finally had everything in working order. I talked to a few different boats on my way up here. There were some guys that were starting up at, oh, don't do that. They were starting up at Fall Creek, drifting night crawlers down. Said they were doing pretty well. Anytime it rains, it seems like the night crawler bite is usually pretty good. Phil and Dwayne are both out deer hunting today. Looked like a pretty rainy start to the opening day of rifle season, but I would be willing to bet that even though it's a little warm, that today would probably be a good day now that the rain stopped. I talked to another boat that said pink power bait was working for them. And these storm fronts they can go either way. They can either be really great for the fishing, or they can kind of shut it off. We had a really heavy rainfall. I was actually expecting to see a lot more mud running in from the creeks than I have, so a little surprised by that. I don't know if all the leaves on the ground would prevent the rain from muddying up the water more, but that's just my guess. Hey, that felt like a nice fish, and that is what happens when you tie a bad knot. So I use a double surgeon's knot to connect my leader material to my tippet, and right at where I had my double surgeon knot tied, it broke. And that's what I get for not checking before I came out. I don't think I have enough material here. Oh yeah. Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna tie a new double surgeon's knot, and I'm just gonna rig on one San Juan worm. So I'm not going to really be able to show this to the camera at the moment, but I'll kind of explain it. I might be able to. So when you tie a double surgeon's knot, you take your leader material and you take your tippet material, and I like to pull them across each other by about a foot, just to leave myself the extra tag in room there. And right about in the center, you take both lines, and you can kind of lick them down, let them down to get them to stick together better. But you take both lines and you pull them through the loop that you make, your tag in and your tippet in. Okay, and then you pull those two knots together nice and tight, and then you do it one more time. You find your knot, twist it around, make a loop, and do not, I didn't get it that time, so this is a little hard to do in the wind, but so you find your knot, make a loop, and then you pull both the tag end and the line through, and then I like to pull it nice and slow to make sure that knot goes directly over the top of the other knot. Oh, and I didn't do it that time either. But anyway, so whenever I pull my tippet material out, I always pull an extra foot just in case something like that happens. So pull it through once, tighten it down, and And then another thing to keep in mind when you're connecting tippet to leader is that if your leader material is gauge-wise, or not gauge-wise, but if your leader material and your tippet material are too far apart, as in for their size, like if this is really thick and this is really thin, then they won't connect together well. So what a lot of people do is, so if this was like, let's say the equivalent of 2x, they'd connect within 2x's, so they'd connect 4x, and then they could connect their 5 or 6x to that. Want to make sure you have a good knot. So anyway, I did it successfully the second try there. And then you clip off your tag ends. I'm going to tie on my San Juan worm. I like to wet down my knot right before I cinch it. I think it gets a little bit better of a cinch when you do that. And then I take and I pull it up at about 12 inches. I'm going to make another loop. And then I'm going to pull my fly through that loop. And I'm doing this to make a spot to clip my split shot on above, and this just ensures that the split shot's not going to slide down past that point, and that leaves me about 12 to 14 above that. Oh, let's see. And then this is the size that I've been using for the flow that we've been having recently. This is the BB 0.4 gram split shot. I'm just going to pinch it on right above that little knot that I tied in my line. If I don't tie that little knot above it, then what happens 90% of the time is that split shot, after a few casts, will start sliding down, and then I don't get a proper presentation. Okay. So, set back to my 8 or 9 foot there, take it off the spot lock, try again. And I've got the split shot on there that high to give the split shot room to get to the bottom, and then give that 12 to 14 inches of play so that that San Juan worm can kind of wiggle, kind of just float slightly behind the weight. I got a strange warm breeze blowing up the lake here. Alright, so I'm going to hope that out of the two things I had on there before, that it was the San Juan worm that fish was interested in. But the scuds, ooh, don't do that. I'm still getting used to using this remote. The scuds have been working. The scuds have been working really well too lately. and you're going to have that weight catch the bottom from time to time. And anytime my bobber goes under, I set the hook. Unless I know for a fact I'm dragging over a really shallow spot and it's just the rocks catching, I always set the hook, because you just really hardly ever know. When I'm doing something like I'm doing now and I have to use the remote to control the boat, I pinch the fly line between my pinky and my ring finger, and obviously I try to keep it to where there's not very much line out on the water, and that allows me to be able to just set the hook with one hand, whereas if I had both hands available, I would hold the line here, hold the rod here, and then I'd kind of pull down on the line as I lift it up on the rod and set the hook normally. There's a fish. Oh! I reached down to pick up the net and I put a little too much pressure on it. He just barely had it in the front part of his lip there. I'm gonna raise the motor up real quick. I'm gonna drift over the top of the shallow side over here on the other side of the gravel bar, which I might have just enough water to do it with the motor all the way down, but no reason in taking chances. And it looks like the sun might be coming out to pay a visit. There's another fish. So it might be a little bigger. Oh man, I need to check my hook here. I don't know, it might be bent. Or they're just barely picking it up. Okay. Well, not a hook problem. Well, they are biting the red San Juan worm. I'm just having trouble getting them all the way to the boat here. So that's 3 now. And I think I need to pick a side here because I am coming up on going right over the top of the gravel bar. I think yesterday Phil had his boat spot locked or anchored, one of the two. He's got an anchor in here. He might have just been using a regular anchor. And he had it spot locked right over the top of the gravel bar, and he was using a, ooh, that was a bite. He was using a chuck and duck rig to fish right on the other side of the gravel bar. And that chuck and duck rig gets the flies to the bottom really fast. And he was just doing a cast up and letting it drift through right in front of the gravel bar. And he said he was pretty successful with that method. I think I need to get farther over. And I'm definitely glad that I pulled the big motor up here. This is definitely too shallow to have the big motor down in the water. I may even have to pull up the trolling motor here in a second. So as you get into the narrows, obviously this whole thing shallows up a lot and the water picks up a lot faster. So I really don't need to increase my weight or decrease my length because of the flies are bouncing along fast enough that it's not catching the bottom. But as we passed over that really shallow flat there, I did not see any fish swimming around, so I think that they're over here in the channel. And I'm gonna fish just a second longer. I feel like I've gone for 40 minutes already. See if I can get this one into the boat. Aha! Success. And my favorite part about using one fly, I do not have to worry about everything getting all tangled up and broken. Of course I say that, and it might happen anyway. He's got it all wrapped around himself there. There we go. Nice pretty little stalker. Alright, well, I think I'm going to end it on landing a fish today. So we thank you guys for watching. Like and share us on Facebook, and I'll do it for you again tomorrow. Thanks, guys.